In today's video, we are going to look at the potential scenarios for altcoins. Many people are saying altcoins are dead, but if you look actually at last cycle, something very similar happened. So let's go into it. So if you look at, this is a comparison of altcoins and Bitcoin. Bitcoin last cycle, 2020, went from 10K to 40K, while altcoins barely moved. They went from 30 billion to 50 billion. And then when Bitcoin went from 40K to 30K, altcoins started to outperform Bitcoin, and it's 700% in 133 days, more or less 4 to 5 months. Altcoins did the entire cycle. So majority of the time Bitcoin was leading 400% against 87, and then the last push of the cycle, when we went from 30K to 60K, altcoins did 700%, almost 10x. So the same thing now, where I think Bitcoin will continue leading. Then when we have quantitative easing, when interest rates starting to come down, which they will this year, we potentially are going to have a really good bull market for altcoins. I would say end of this year. I think we're going to have a really good bounce in April, looking at money supply. So yeah, that's something I've been looking at. Last cycle, we had very similar situation. If you look at altcoins at present moment, we are in a similar situation to August. So in August, everyone was saying the same thing, altcoins are dead, and then we had a massive bounce of 200%. Again, momentum indicator is in the same level. The last 3 times that altcoins were this low in terms of momentum indicator, right here, we had massive bounces. 190% here, another 190% here. Again, we are at the weekly demand zone, and also momentum indicator is at the low. So again, I think there is a potential at least to have a really good relief bounce for altcoins. And I still think, even if the alt season might come end of this year or next year, we only had bull markets for altcoins when Bitcoin dominance went to 70%. So 70 to 75% last 2 cycles. It was a level where altcoins started to perform better than Bitcoin. So like here, 2017, we hit 71% Bitcoin dominance, then it collapsed to 36. Then Bitcoin rallied big time, outperformed altcoins for 3 years. And then it went from 72, and again, another mini cycle for altcoins. And then we had a massive bull market for altcoins, where Bitcoin dominance went from 73% to 39. Again, we are at 61. We have a bit more upside. We might target 67 to 70%. And after that, I think we are going to have a bull market. Of course, you need to have opposite liquidity. Institutions, banks, big players need to make you think that we are not going to have an alt season. So of course, when we get to this level, 67, 70, you might see on Twitter and other social media people saying that this is the end. I don't think so. It's always human behavior where you start rotating profits from Bitcoin to altcoin. So if Bitcoin hits, in my opinion, this cycle at least 130K, you are going to see people trying to gamble, and they are going to rotate from Bitcoin to other altcoins. I think the altcoins, in my opinion, that have the most potential, I think first one is Tau Tensor. I think is the best altcoin. Is decentralized artificial intelligence. The incentive mechanism they have is absolutely brilliant, in my opinion. It was launched like Bitcoin, very, very decentralized, fairly launched. They have almost 70 something subnets. In terms of developers, one of the biggest projects as well. So my opinion, this is one of the best projects for this cycle. There is nothing like this. And I think because centralized AI is such a big problem, we're probably going to see Tau being the leader in terms of decentralized AI. So in terms of chart, we need to close above 300 to become bullish short term. And then confirmation is Tau closing above 500. We still didn't start, but I think short to medium term, we are going to have a good bounce. Another really interesting coin, in my opinion, for this cycle is Sui. So Sui is, I think, the best competitor for Solana. It's very, very fast, cheap, very complete. project, amazing smart contracts capabilities. In terms of chart wise, we need to close above $3 to become bullish. But again, I think Sui and Solana will be the winners in terms of layer ones. They have, I think, the best technology, the best community, and a lot of institutional investors behind. Another project that I really like and I think has a lot of potential is Hyperliquid. It's a decentralized exchange. It's generating revenue almost $1 million, $2 million a month. When you look at other centralized exchanges like Binance, Coinbase, I think a decentralized exchange where you don't have to do KYC, when you can trade with big positions, I think Hyperliquid is positioning itself as one of the best competitors for centralized centralized exchanges. So for me, Tau, Hyperliquid, Sui, and you could add Solana and of course Bitcoin, digital gold. I think these coins have the most utility, the best community, and they solve big problems. So that's it, guys. Thank you very much.